On the news, 8 buildings collapsed, residents displaced as flood takes over Bulumkutu Abuja area in Borno State. Three killed, 28 rescued as police foil kidnap attempt in Katsina State. And NNPCL rules out sale of Port Harcourt refinery. We're glad to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Uchejim. We begin in Borno State, where what began as an ordinary day turned into a nightmare for residents of the Bulumkutu Abuja community as heavy rainfall in the early hours of Wednesday led to the collapse of several buildings and displaced some residents in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. According to a statement by the spokesperson for the command, ASP Nahum Daso, 8 buildings collapsed due to the flooding. TV360's correspondent who visited the Bulumkutu Abuja area to assess the extent of the damage reported that the heavy downpour forced residents to abandon their homes in search of safety. Several affected residents also shared their experiences and made appeals to the government and relevant agencies for urgent assistance and long-term intervention.
The rainfall comes at once. Some hours, some 40-something minutes, the rainfall comes, heavy rainfall. So please, we are pleading the state governments to assist us with evacuation of excavator. The whole drainage is blocked. With those, a lot of problems came across the line. So the community last assist us with shovel, rake, and others. We have evacuated, and now we have no anything in our hands. So we are appealing to the state governments to help us with excavator, please and please, in order for we to have peace of mind in our community. Most of the residential people, they leave their houses because of this rainfall. The rainfall is heavy rainfall. So please and please, the state governments, we are appealing on you people, on you please, to assist us with assistance and help us.
And the Katsina State Police Command has foiled 2 kidnap attempts in the Sabuwa local government area and rescued 28 victims. However, the attacks, which occurred on Monday and Tuesday, claimed 3 lives. According to a statement by the command's public relations officer, DSP Abubakar Sadiq, the operations were part of intensified efforts by the command under the leadership of Commissioner of Police Bello Shehu to tackle kidnapping and banditry in the state. According to the police, on Tuesday, the police received a call that suspected armed bandits had blocked the Sabuwa-Kaya Road near Ino Junction in Sabuwa local government area and abducted 14 people. Similarly, on Monday, July 28, 2025, suspected armed bandits attacked Zagazagi village, also in Sabuwa local government area, kidnapping residents and killing 2 people. Sadiq noted that efforts are ongoing to apprehend the fleeing suspects. And President Bola Tinubu has approved the immediate employment of 200 National Youth Service Corps honorees into the Federal Civil Service. Tinubu, who announced this through the Minister of State for Labor and Employment at the President's NYSC Honors Awards ceremony, and praised the awardees for their discipline, commitment, selflessness, teamwork, patriotism, and integrity. TV360 correspondent Okpeyemi Owusheni has more details in this next report.
The President Honors Award, instituted in 1974 to encourage corps members to contribute to national development through the NYSC program, also served as a platform for President Tinubu to reinforce his administration's commitment to youth empowerment. Represented by the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Nkuruka Oyejocha, Tinubu also awarded each of the honorees 250,000 naira in recognition of their outstanding service during the 2020 to 2023 service years.
The government shall continue to support the scheme's operations, especially with funding. Our administration believes investing in Nigerians' youth will secure the country's future. At this juncture, let me appeal to our youths to continue to have faith in Nigeria. As principal stakeholders in Nigeria, you should never yield to the machinations of those seeking to destabilize the nation. Remain patriotic citizens, abiding by the motto of the NYSC, which is service and humility.
While appreciating President Tinubu's unwavering commitment to the future of Nigerian youth, the Minister of Youth Development pledges ministry's continued support to strengthen the NYSC and ensure its positive impact endures. In his remarks, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps commended the contributions of Nigerian youth to the nation's progress, highlighting the diverse roles corps members have played.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is deeply committed to the well-being and the development of the Nigerian youth. This commitment is demonstrated through the determination to address the challenge facing our youth, the promotings and activities, participations on the national development. This government has initiated many empowerment programs in areas of skills, startup support, job creation, especially in tech and energy.
Corps members who sustained life-altering injuries during their service but remained undeterred in their dedication to the nation. They are not just honorees, they are heroes of our republic.
Beyond automatic employment and cash awards, each honoree was granted a scholarship to pursue a postgraduate degree at any Nigerian university. President Tinubu also announced automatic employment for 10 physically challenged former corps members who sustained injuries in the line of duty, describing them as heroes whose sacrifices would never be forgotten. The gathering also acknowledged 4 corps members who lost their lives during the course of their service. Okbayemi Owosheni, TV360 News, Lagos.
And the Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja has granted the former Managing Director of AMCON, Ahmed Kuru, permission to travel abroad for urgent medical treatment. Justice Mojisola Dada, who also ruled that the defendant's international passport be released to enable him to travel to London, United Kingdom, for treatment. Though the nature of the illness was not disclosed in court, counsel to the defendants, Onyekon Badejo Kusonya, designated, had told the judge that the ex parte application for her client to be allowed to travel abroad disclosed facts that necessitated extreme urgency. Counsel to the EFCC, Wahab Shitu, had no objection to the application. However, he raised an alarm that the Anti-Graft Commission has an intelligence report of attempts by the first and third defendants to dispose of some of the aircraft associated with Arik Air, the subject matter of the criminal proceedings. Now, across borders and within communities, traffickers operate sophisticated networks that lure victims, often with false promises of jobs or education, only to force them into modern-day slavery, sexual exploitation, forced labor, or criminal activity. In recent years, young Nigerians have increasingly fallen prey to these networks, many trafficked under the guise of overseas opportunities or employment offers. As the 2025 Global Campaign Against Trafficking ramps up, stakeholders underscore the pressing need to combat the menace in its increasingly complex and dangerous forms. TV360 Simisola has more in this report.
Every year, thousands are lured by false promises, only to face abuse, exploitation, and deception, often at the hands of traffickers who operate in highly organized networks, often moving victims across borders undetected. The journey itself is dangerous, particularly through transit points in North Africa, where victims are frequently detained, extorted, or subjected to violence. Jeremiah David is a victim of trafficking. With hopes of reaching Germany, he crossed the desert into Libya, a known trafficking hotspot. But instead of opportunity, he encountered armed captors, torture chambers, and a ransom demand that nearly cost him his life.
Immediately I entered the place, he asked me, are you from? I said, from Edo State. He said, I do stay I should go to that corner that my state persons are sitting there. So when I got there, the people I met there prevented them from talking to us like, how far was your journey? You know, when you get to a new place and you meet a fellow Nigerian, first they'll tell you, how far now, how home now, how people are home, you know, you get to talk and interact. But these guys were being instructed not to talk to us. So they were just looking at us just the way I'm looking at you and you're not talking. So I'm trying to ask, where are we? What's the name of this place? And nobody's ready to say anything. So, okay, what am I going to do now? How do we live here? How many days do people stay here before they move? Because I know it's a transit thing here. But then nobody was ready to talk to me. My mind was, beginning to recollect. So what they did later in the evening was that they had to ask all of us that came that night that we should follow them. So in the morning we followed them. They were taking us around the building. It was a massive building. So they were seeing us blood stains on the wall. They were showing us bullets that people tried to escape from this place, that they shot them. Those are the bloods you have seen on the wall. These gun bullets is where, when they shot them, they show us different things. First of all, they had to put that fear in us. So when we finished that environmental tour, that was when my mind was not telling me that, oh my God, Jerry, bless you, don't have one chance like this. So how do I live here?
According to the United Nations International Labour Organization, human traffickers victimize an estimated 2.6 million people worldwide, many of them fleeing poverty, conflict, environmental disaster, or political instability, often fall prey to traffickers who exploit their desperation with false promises, coercion, and outright force. Another victim, Ejike Ezeonyido, wanted to cross through the Sahara Desert, but the journey quickly turned into a nightmare. His story underscores the brutal reality faced by many who fall prey to trafficking networks operating along irregular migration routes.
We spent like a month there in between two rocks where they hide us. So we are like in a valley. They robbed us. Everything we had, we lost it there. Some persons we are lucky. They were able to hid some things away. Like myself, I was able to hid the money that was with me then. And we continued the journey into desert because I see it as a game. They are very, very organized. Sometimes maybe they discuss among themselves not to actually extort and collect more from this person. And when you said no, they will sell the person.
Experts have decried the rising threat of human trafficking, attributing it largely to ignorance. They say many victims are deceived by people they trust, falling prey due to limited awareness of traffickers' tactics.
Most people are not aware. Often than not, it's people they know, people they trust that deceives them and traffics them. So because of that trust, they don't expect that anything negative will come out of the relationship with such a person. But by the time they realize, more often than not, it is too late.
It's appalling. I think there's a lot of ignorance. And because of that lacuna, the gap in education, people don't really know what's going on. People are looking for greener pastures, but nobody actually bothers to find out what is going on at the other end. The grass always looks green at the other end, but it's not. There's so much going on, from organ harvesting to human trafficking, to selling of babies, to even online scams.
As human trafficking becomes increasingly sophisticated, these experts are calling for cross-border collaboration, stronger legal frameworks, and better victim support systems to combat the crisis and protect vulnerable populations. Simisola Achikun, TV360 News.
And in a bid to restore hope for millions of Nigerians seeking quality health care, the Nigerian government has reaffirmed its commitment to providing affordable world-class service through a fully digitized system by 2030. Health and Social Welfare Minister Ali Pate made their pledge during the National Forum of Top Medical Administrators at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, where he assured that federal hospitals will combine accessible pricing with advanced service delivery. TV360 correspondent Solomon Josiah completes the report.
The University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital has evolved into one of Nigeria's premier medical institutions. Now a hub for healthcare innovations, the hospital hosted the commission of several landmark projects by the Minister of Health. The commissioned projects include the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Medical ICT Center, Interventional Radiology Center, Jibril Aminu Heart Center, Abubakar Stroke and Neuroscience Center, including cutting-edge magnetic resonance imaging and linear accelerator units, all geared towards advancing medical care and saving lives in the region. Speaking at the event, Party emphasized that continuous training and retraining of medical personnel will remain a key focus, ensuring that federal health institutions are staffed with skilled personnel ready to meet global standards.
As we have the infrastructure, the equipment, we also have to pay attention to the content, the quality of care that we are offering to our citizens in terms of the process of care, the outcomes of care, and the standards that have been set by the committee, so that Nigerians will enjoy the better quality health care that they deserve. On the affordability side, NHI is expanding the health insurance, making it more affordable, whether it's cancer care, nephrology care, or even emergency obstetric services, which federal government has already reimbursed more than 4,000 cesarean sections in the last few months for women who needed them. The same thing with the emergency medical services. So the collection of all of these efforts, I think, is a transformation that the President has directed us to do.
We are going to commission a heart center. There is no purposeful built and a service provision heart center in the Northeast. So this is going to be the first one, and our aim is to have open heart surgery and stenting in heart or coronary diseases.
In response, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum commended the hospital's leadership and urged deeper healthcare reforms. He pledged 1 billion naira for kidney transplant for 50 indigent patients, with 250 million naira released quarterly.
I also want to please announce that there is ongoing construction of General Hospital in Shafa, in Uba, Mafar, Chikwa, Maiduguri, Gubio, and Ganda local government areas of our state. I want to assure you that these hospitals will be equipped with modern health facilities, and inshallah will be commissioned this year.
Also speaking at the event, head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Watson Jack, spoke on the importance of investing in healthcare workers, adding that strengthening the workforce is central to building a resilient healthcare system.
It is these kind of peer review meetings that lead to the much needed innovation and motivation, resulting in key outcomes that speak to development and growth in the sector. That this is the 110th session is a testament to the viability of the meeting as well as its importance. I congratulate all the CMDs and other CEOs of tertiary institutions on the success of this meeting and the important work that you do in your various teaching hospitals.
With fresh investment, strong backing from state leaders and the launch of advanced medical facilities, the government assures Nigeria's healthcare system is poised for a more promising future. Solomon Josiah, TV360, Borno.
We'll go on a short break here, but still to come. Tsunamis strike parts of Russia, Japan, and US after a massive Russian earthquake. Details of this story after this break. recap of some of our top stories. Heavy rainfall in the early hours of Wednesday have led to the collapse of several buildings and displaced some residents in Bulunkutu, Abuja community, Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. According to a statement by the spokesperson of the Borno State Police Command, ASP Nahum Daso, 8 buildings collapsed due to the flooding. He also informed you that the Katsina State Police Command has foiled 2 kidnap attempts in the Sabuwa local government area and rescued 28 victims. However, the attacks, which occurred on Monday and Tuesday, claimed 3 lives. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletin, or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on X, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news, and Victoria Akande is on standby. What's the latest, Victoria?
Thank you very much, Joy. Welcome to Business News. Now, after weeks of speculation over the future of the country's most prominent state-owned refining asset, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has officially ruled out the sale of Port Harcourt Refining Company, reaffirming its commitment to completing high-grade rehabilitation and retention of the plant. Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Bayo Ojulari, made the announcement during a company-wide town hall meeting at the NNPC Towers in Abuja, where he described selling Port Harcourt Refining Company as ill-advised and subcommercial. Ojulari's remarks come amid rising public concern sparked by his earlier comments at the 2025 OPEC seminar in Vienna, where he said all options are on the table regarding the future of Nigeria's refineries. Right now, we'll go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Welcome back. Nigeria's equities market closed on a strong note on Wednesday, advancing by 0.99%, buoyed by investor interest in stocks like Dangote Sugar, Beja Paints, Royal Exchange, and Multiverse Mining and Exploration. The market capitalization now stands at 88.1 trillion naira. A total of 127 listed equities participated in today's trade, with 39 gainers and 32 losers. Multiverse Mining and Exploration led the gainers, rising by 10% to close at 9 naira 90 kobo per share, and was followed closely by Royal Exchange. Now, over 892 million shares were exchanged in 36,418 deals, amounting to a market value of over 33 billion naira. Now, when this is compared to Tuesday's session, this reflects a 5% dip in volume, a 10% uptick in turnover, and a 28% increase in the number of deals. Now, switching gears to the global stage, equities were modestly higher on Wednesday as investors digested the latest economic data and waited for the Federal Reserve's policy announcement, which will be followed by key corporate earnings reports later on Wednesday. Now, the UK's FTSE and US Dow Jones both closed in positive territory, while Japan's Nikkei slipped into the red, as you can see on the chart. Meanwhile, the Naira held steady in the foreign exchange market. It traded at 1,550 Naira to the US dollar on the black market, and at 2,125 Naira to the British pound and 1,800 Naira to the euro, maintaining relative calm amid broader currency fluctuations. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Joy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Victoria. And now in other countries, tsunami waves have hit parts of Russia, Japan, and the United States after a massive earthquake off the Russian coast, with alerts issued for dozens of other countries across Latin America, Asia, and the Pacific. The quake was initially measured at magnitude 8.0, but later upgraded to 8.7 by the U.S. Geological Survey. Residents on islands have been urged to go to safe zones, either at higher elevations or far offshore, and stay there until the official alert is lifted. And still on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump is increasing the pressure on India, calling into question the prospects of a deal with a key U.S. trading partner just days before his tariff deadline. In a pair of social media posts on Wednesday, Trump sharply attacked India's trade barriers and directly targeted India's sustained reliance on Russian oil purchases and military equipment. He doubled down on his threat to impose 25% tariffs on all Indian imports and threatened an additional penalty in response to India's energy purchases. And finally on sports, the draw for the 2026 World Cup is set to take place on December 5th in Las Vegas, the United States. FIFA has decided on the American city after ruling out venues in Canada and Mexico. The tournament will be played across the 3 countries next year. 48 teams will be participating in the tournament, an increase from 32, following a draw that was conducted at the Las Vegas Convention Center when the U.S. hosted the World Cup in 1994. And still on sports, the National Basketball Association has confirmed that the Memphis Grizzlies and the Orlando Magic will play regular season games in Berlin on Thursday, January 15, 2026, and in London on Sunday, January 18, 2026. The league also announced that it will play regular season games in Manchester at Co-op Live and Paris in 2027, and in Berlin and Paris in 2028. The NBA London Game 2026, presented by Tissot, will be the 19th game featuring an NBA team in the UK since 1993 and the league's 10th regular season game in London. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Joy Uchejim. See you next time.